Hello and welcome to the Aries new moon energy update. And so we had a new moon around the 1st, depending on where you were. And this is new moon of Aries, and so it's ushering in new energy. So we had the dreamy Pisces, intuitive, going within energy that we're just coming out of, and we're moving into more of a fiery energy of Aries. So I'm excited to see where this is going to go. A lot of readers are saying there's communication coming in, so that's really cool, but we will check it out because it really depends on your timeline and what's going on in your life. So we're going to look into the energy. This is a general reading, and so it will not resonate with every single person. Remember, cross watchers, that the energies can be reversed, so assign the roles as you please. Just take the things that resonate with you and the things that don't. They're not for you, and that's okay too. So if it feels right for you, it's your message. If it's not, if it doesn't feel right, then it's not yours. If nothing feels right, then you may need a personal reading, and you can check out the description box down below for details. And just know that this is timeless. It doesn't matter that we're talking about the Aries full moon in particular. Whenever you find this, there's messages in it for you because that's the way energy works. At the end of this video, there's always suggested videos that I will have listed for you. And if you like this reading or entertain in some way, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. This way you get notified as soon as I post something new. And I'm only accepting the highest and best truth for our highest and best good, bringing forth the most accurate answers. I do want to thank the people who've already subscribed. If you're new here, thank you for coming. And if you haven't subscribed yet, then please take a second to do so. Before we get started, though, I do want to kind of let you know something. This is really interesting. So I got this crystal, and I've been doing readings. It's always sitting on this over here near this lamp, and I forgot to put it out to clean it. So you can put it out at the new moons, the full moons. You can actually put it out at any time. Some really like the sun. Some crystals really like the moon. So it just really depends. Some crystals don't like the sun at all. So you kind of got to know which crystals you have to clean them out. But the reason why I'm showing you this is some people don't know, because we do have some new people coming to the channels all the time, learning new information. So for those of you guys who already know, disregard this message, but for people who are brand new, I just want to show you something. So I forgot to put this out, and I do a lot of energy reads here, not just for this channel, but I do personal readings as well. And look what happened, it cracked. So sometimes when you've used like pretty much a lot of the energy that a crystal has, it will just crack out of nowhere. So your pendulums will crack, your crystals will crack. So I don't know if you can see that, but there's a big old crack right through it. And I was kind of disappointed to see that, but it's my own fault. I didn't clean it and give it the opportunity to recharge, you know. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of show you that. If they do break, it means the crystal has had enough. They can still work when they're cracked, so you don't have to throw them away. And I suggest not throwing them away. If a crystal has brought you healing energy and have done things in your life, I was told when I was getting my associates in metaphysical studies, they had told me there that you should bury your crystals, put them back in the earth. Don't just throw them away and put them in the trash. I mean, I guess technically, if you do, there's, you know, it could be part of the earth again if some of that trash decomposes. But what they said to go ahead and just bury it. So dig a hole in the backyard and bury it, you know. Okay. Once a crystal's yours, it's yours. So... all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a look at this energy that's going on for the Aries new moon. So we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 1, 2, and 3. So the overall energy is wish fulfilled or wanting wish fulfilled, going through a period of looking at your self-doubt, the inner critic, and maybe things that you've been ignoring the call. So spirit or God or whatever you want to call it, whatever resonates with you, has been giving the call out and has been for a while about certain things. So sometimes we don't recognize the call. Sometimes we can't hear the call. Sometimes we don't feel the call until, like, sometimes we don't recognize it. And if that happens, then Spirit will just continue to do it over and over and over and over again until you get it. That's their whole job. That's the whole purpose of how they help us out. So here it is again, the High Priestess. So it's either the self-doubt that's blocking that, or it's the fact that we're trying to hold on to the 3D dimensional reality ways of being or who we are that's making us not fully listen to what Spirit is saying. Or maybe we do, we can hear what Spirit is saying, but we have a lot of fear around that, a lot of anxiety. And so that's what's being looked at this month. Hopefully you clear it up, because anything from the past that we haven't learned the lesson will continue to keep resurfacing. We'll have to relive it over and over and over again until we learn the lesson. So the best thing to do when you're feeling really uncomfortable in life is to sit back and take a look at, what is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to show me? What happened last time I had the same experience that I didn't do? How can I do it differently? What can I do differently? Okay, so let's move on. What's going to be presented to us in the month of April is looking at our lives and seeing if it's balanced. Because remember, 2022 is the year of balance. If we're not balancing that, then we need to continue to work on that until we get it balanced. The balance is between work and family, relationships and money, all of it. So if we have an over infatuation with money, well, we're going to be imbalanced in other places of our life. It means that we're not going to be giving to our families. It means that we're not going to be giving to our relationships, our love life, whatever it is. If we have an over focus on our love life, well, then we stop the other relationships, like our friendships in our lives, or we stop, our career isn't doing as well. So you have to see where's the balance? How can we get that to balance out? So let's see where this is going next. So, what's coming towards you is we're not going to be planning anymore. So we've already been planning a lot. We've been in this planning stage all through the month of March, because that was where we were going within. What do we really want to do? How do we really want to do this? And, you were looking to the future. You were looking at your lives. Hopefully that's what you were doing. And now it's time to let those plans, not go, but you just hand it over to God and say, okay, I did the most planning that I can do, and I've made some tough decisions. If I continue to plan and plan and plan and plan instead of just letting it go, then what happens is we start to have obstacles. We start to have just delays, and we become very frustrated over our plans, because we're like, well, didn't I plan that all out? But you keep adding to it. So just decide what you want and let it go. It's very interesting. My daughter, she wanted to be in this arts program, and my kids are such master manifestors. I love watching them manifest things. They're so easy. They just do it with ease and flow. It's crazy. So what happened was, we went to this orientation night months ago, and she's like, I want to be a part of that art program. And I'm like, that's great. And so she made the decision that night that that's what she wanted. And I was like, great. So now that you made the decision, we just got to let it go. That girl hadn't even thought about it since that night, and only a small amount of people can get into this program. She said that's what she wanted. She completely forgot about it, went about her merry way, living her life just beautifully, lovely, and then bam, she gets an email that says, hey, you made it into the program. And I thought to myself, how easy was that? She didn't fester over it. She didn't even write it down. She was just like, I want that. And there you go. Bam, it came to her. I was like, wow. And I think that's it as well. You may have done already what you need to do. This might be the time for you to just say, I think I'm okay with the plans I made. And I think I'm just going to let it be and see what happens, and just let that energy flow. What's hidden is that you haven't gotten the justice yet. And so that causes obstacles in our life. When we start to see in the 3D reality, we're not getting what we want. The house hasn't sold. The house, we haven't bought the house yet. Our soulmate hasn't come in yet, or we haven't gotten that sorry yet, or we haven't given the sorry yet because we're too scared. So many things with this justice card. This is also, what's hidden is that you may be feeling unfair. That's a big theme that has been coming up, and I started to see in my life where I started to feel like that was unfair, and that was unfair, and that was unfair. And if we start to do that, then unfairness starts to present into our life. I was watching this show about forgiveness, and it was interesting because he said forgiveness, there's a point when you need to just let go. And I was talking to my husband about it, and I was like, yes, Sometimes we let go a little too soon. It means that we're carpet sweeping. We're not really looking at the issue. We kind of just let it go. Oh, just let that go, you know? I think that's the end goal, is to let it go. But so I was telling my husband, I was like, we need to observe it, to feel it, all of that stuff that we learned, right? The issues going on, not ignore our feelings about it, not ignore what's emotionally coming up for us when we feel a certain way. Be like, okay, yeah, I see that. Try not to over-intellectualize it. My other friend and I were talking about that, right? And then there is a point when you need to just let it go. Like, you can't keep holding on to it anymore, because holding on to that is holding on to the feeling, and it's pushing everything away. So this is telling me, like, you know, if you're focusing on unfairness, or how the world hasn't been fair, or you wish that it worked out a certain way, or somebody was dishonest and then you're just going to start to see that stuff coming into your life all over the place. So see how you feel about the unfairness, dissect it, go through it. I feel that. Talk to your inner child about it. Yeah, it sucks when things are unfair. Truth. And own it. Be like, dude, life was unfair, and it's not supposed to be fair to everyone. When I was a teacher, I used to tell the kids all the time, life, you know, it's just not fair all the time. Sometimes it'll be fair and sometimes it won't. And you just got to be okay with that. There'll be times when it works out perfectly for you and not for someone else. That's give and take. It's balance. It's going to be times when it works out perfectly for someone else and not for you. It's just the way that it is. And just be like, oh, it's not my time for fairness. Okay. But everybody in our life, everybody in this lifetime has dealt with the world being unfair in some way. So you're not alone, right? Okay, so the obstacle in the way is the long-term vision. So they're saying it again, like the fact that we're still trying to plan this long-term, like plan it, make your decisions, write it down, let it go. That's one of the purposes of writing things down. Write it down so that you can give it to God. Write it down so you can say, okay, universe, this is what I want. So that's what's happening, is we're getting stuck in this phase, and we can. That's the phase 1 of the law of attraction that Esther Hicks talks about. If you're continually getting stuck in stage 1, then you're not allowing the energy to work to your advantage, to work it out for you. Because then it's like you keep adding things, or you keep, what's that called? You're keeping the dissonance alive, and it's becoming too heavy. And when it's too heavy, the energy, it can't just flow for you. I mean, think about the times when things just worked out perfectly for you. It worked out perfectly because there was a flow. You know, there's a book called Inner Game of Tennis. They've made it into so many other books. It's actually started out with the Inner Game of Tennis. But it's having the beginner mind. It's having that childlike state and just being like, you know what? I kind of want that, like my daughter did. You know, it'd be really cool to be in that art program. I surely would like that. But she didn't fester on it every single day and be like, okay, and so to be in this art program, this is the way that I want it to exactly work out. I want it to be this perfect. And that's what we do. We go, but this has to be so perfect, and that's the adult mind. So just get out of the adult mind, go back to the child state and say, hey, this is what I want. It'd be really cool if it happened, and send the universe off and be like, there you go. Send off my dreams, and please make that come true. Okay. So moving on. The thing that's helping you is this devil energy. That's interesting. Let's see how that's going to be explained. I might want to, every time I get the devil, I always want to dive into it and say, what is this? Although the devil's not a bad card, it just means toxicity. But maybe it's because there's toxicity on one side. Okay, so that's it. So there's a decision being made, and on one side, it's straight up toxic. And on the other side, it's beautiful. So it's like not a hard decision to make because the other side is really making it easy for you to go, screw this job. You know what I mean? This job is full of toxicity. Like when I drive up to this job, I feel the devil energy. I don't know why I'm still coming to this job, right? Or your partner, you're like, oh my gosh, every time we fight, every time you bring up that stupid topic, dude, every time you want to act in that way, it reminds me of the toxicity in this relationship and why I'm wanting something different. And just, you know, almost marvel in it and be like, all right, I made the right decision. Like you're showing me right now through your toxicity that I'm making the right decision. So that's how it's supporting you. it's like the addiction or whatever. Maybe that person you're with has a lot of addictions, or maybe that person you're with has just like, maybe they just keep you from doing the things that you really want to do because they're just so dang negative, you know? And you're just like, dude, I need to get away from this person, like for real, like for real, for real. Like it's time. Maybe you've been thinking about it for a while too. And now it's just like in your face every day how toxic this relationship or this job is, or this whatever. Or just how toxic you've been being. And here's the thing, the longer you hang out with toxicity, the more you become toxic. You know, the longer you hang out with beautiful energy, and that's why they say you are who you hang out with. You know, you are who you surround yourself with. So if everybody you're talking to is negative and low energy, and you're tired when you're around these people, and you don't even want to hang out because every time you do, you feel drained, you're hanging out with the wrong people. Because you're here watching tarot card readings, which means you're raising your vibration, you know, you're working on yourself. And if people around you aren't doing that, you're with the wrong people. These aren't the people that are going to help you soar in life and help you have your best life. They're the wrong group of people. All right, so the action to take is to move away from the devil energy, okay, the best you can. Some of you guys are in relationships that are bound by a contract. Maybe you're in a house contract or a marriage contract, or maybe you're in a car loan with someone even, you know, and so maybe it's difficult to leave. Well, the first step is just to tell the universe that that's what you want. You want to break free from the contract, whatever the contract is. And you have to be feeling okay about how the universe does it. Sometimes it's easy. It works out perfectly for you. And sometimes if you just won't listen to the universe about, or God about leaving this toxicity, they will do it, God will do it for you, and it's not as pretty. Okay, so it's kind of better if you do it yourself. It's kind of better if you make the decision that this is what you're going to do. You're going to pay off your loans, you know, you're going to do this specific thing before you get out of the relationship. Maybe you got to wait. Some of you guys have to wait for like statutes of limitations about things. Like maybe you guys are in bankruptcy and there's some kind of a way that 7 to 10 years, I don't even know what it is, I'm not really sure, but maybe there's some sort of like statute that if you just wait that long, then you can easily get out. But here's the thing, you need to plan in that direction. And we don't want to plan too much anymore. So if you haven't planned in that direction, I want you to quickly plan and move on. And basically the plan looks like this. I would like for this contract to be over. I've learned the karmic lesson that I need to learn. I would like it to happen with ease and flow, you know, for my best and highest good. That's what I'm looking for. And I want to align with people that are happy, that try to work on them, that are working on themselves, not try, there is no try, no, I was kidding, that are working on themselves, that are willing to live a life experience of fullness, where I could be fulfilled in my life too, where it's not that I'm depending on another person or they're depending on me, but we're working together as a team to move through the energy in the best way possible for us all. So we either get to move through the energy dark and dirty and with cheating and ugliness, or we get to move through the energy with loving kindness, gratitude, and those types of things. You know, of course we're going to be faced with toxicity every now and then. Like my husband was riding his bike on a trail and this guy was taking up the whole center, and my husband had no place to like go, so we had to like go right next to him. Well, when he got to the end of the hill, he was like having a good time talking to some man that was down there. They were having a good conversation, and this dude comes up and he starts yelling at my husband, like, you took up the whole road, da da da. My husband's a smart gentleman, so he was like, told him what the guy needed to hear, and you know, basically, I don't remember what he said, but it was ingenious. Like, it was like he didn't even have to fight the dude. He just said, you know, like, where was I supposed to go? Your dogs were on one side, you were on the other. I would have had to go down the mountain in order to, you know, and I would have put myself at risk, right? So He handled that with ease, right? So you're going to have some toxicity is what I'm saying. Like, you're not going to be able to just run from it all the time, but how you respond to it will be differently. It'll be more emotionally mature, and you'll feel really good about what you're doing and how you're living life. A lot better than you are with whatever this devil energy is. The outcome is that you're going to be in a really good place. All you have to do is make the decision that you don't want to be in that anymore, that you've decided, that you really decided, not decided in your mind, and no, I think I might want to leave this situation. It's not like that. It's literally like, and that's why I tell people to write it down. My daughter didn't need to do that because she's in an innocent, young energy. You know, she's not stuck in her adult crap, right? So she doesn't have that. But for adults, we kind of need to like get it out of our head and write it down. You can write it down and burn it if you're afraid somebody's going to see it. You can say, okay, this is what I want. Tell God, I want out of this soul contract. I want it to be as easy as possible for me. Maybe you want money from it. I need so and such money from this. You know, you can even burn your fears on why you're afraid to leave this. Like, maybe you're afraid because they trap you with money. Maybe they have all the money sources. Maybe they have, I don't know what it is. Maybe that contract makes it to where, like, if they stop paying the bill, then you have to pay it. And now you're going to be paying for someone's car or something like that because you co-signed. I don't know the issue, but there's always a way. Because, like, check this out. This is crazy, but this is what I'm saying. There's always a way out that the universe can help you with. Like, for instance, let's say you did a car loan with someone and you co-signed, right? And then you're like, well, I need to break up with this person now. That I cannot be in this relationship anymore. It is so bad for me. Then what happens is you tell God, you tell the universe, and you're like serious about it. Like, your intention is on point. This is what I want. I want this. And I'd like it to be where I don't have any financial ties to this person at all, right? And guess what would happen? Lo and behold, the car gets totaled and the insurance has to pay it off, and they pay the loan off, and you guys happen to have gap insurance or something like that. I mean, who knows? It just works out beautifully, right? And then bam, you're not in a financial tie with that person anymore because something happened. You know, something happened where it had to like take care of itself, and it was beautiful. So the universe has the power to do stuff like that. You just have to ask for it and know that it's going to happen for you. That's the other piece. You have to know with your whole heart that God would not leave you in the dust, or God would not forsaken you. Here's the other thing with that piece. If you're not there yet, because you feel like I can't ask God for anything because God has taken away the most important things in my life, and I just don't feel like we have that type of relationship, well, guess what? You need to work on how you feel about that. You need to work on why you feel like you've been forsaken, why you feel like life is unfair, why you feel like you can't ask God for anything because God's never been there for you. Like, you need to look at that. Because I'm going to tell you right now, that's not true. No matter how horrible, and I've met some people who've had some horrible experiences. I've had horrible experiences in my life. And it's easy to turn to God and say, this is your fault. You did this to me. But I'm going to tell you something that you're probably not going to want to hear. Is that, but I love you, so I'm going to say it. And if you get angry, I'm sorry. I'm going to apologize in advance for hurting your feelings if you feel like it's going to do that. But we planned our lives, and that horrible thing was supposed to happen, and it was supposed to happen to help you. Like, The Little Soul in the Sun is the perfect book for that. It's so good, and I have it on my channel, so just take a look at that. But The Little Soul in the Sun, you know, says that that person had to do the most horrible thing and hurt you so badly so that you can learn forgiveness, so that you can learn these hard concepts. They're difficult concepts to learn. And it's like your soul planned that and said, you know, the worst thing that could happen in my life would be this. It would be so difficult to live a life without that person, or after having that experience. But I'm going to tell you, when you finally exit this life, you're going to be so grateful for that experience. Your higher self is so grateful for the experience. And nobody ever really dies. I mean, our souls don't die. So they just transform. They're just different now. And I know you don't physically have a person that you can touch. I get that. They're not here. You can't touch them. They didn't get to grow. I had a sister who passed at 14. It wasn't my full sister, but she died. She got killed. A gang member. She got shot in a gang thing, and she died. And I had a boyfriend who died at 14, and they didn't get to grow up. I get that. They didn't get to, I didn't get to be older and have the experience to say, man, look at my sister's kids. I didn't have the experience to say, man, look at, my boyfriend who I love dearly. I mean, would we have still been together? I don't know. Would we have had kids together? I don't know. Would I have one day maybe searched him up to see if he had kids and been proud of him? Possibly. Like, we don't know what was going to happen. And I have a friend who, she's going through it right now, and every year around this time she goes through it because her son died of cancer. And I get to hear her pain. And then I understand it, not fully, because it wasn't my experience. And she's so enlightened. She really is. To be able to, I could never have gone through what she went through. And I just look up to her, and she's so enlightened. She watched her son die. That's the worst thing in the world. So I understand it, but we have to look at that. You have to look at the unfairness. I have to look at it too. But you have to know that those relationships just change. They're not gone. And you can always call on that person, and they give you signs all the time. You just have to see it. Just know that that person is talking to you. Okay. In your mind, you're making a lot of choices. I'm going to ask you to make the choices and be done. Don't continue to use the whole month of April to make choices. We already felt our feelings in Pisces energy, which was last month. This is the month that we make the decisions, and we make very clear decisions. If you're an Aries and you want to make lists, great, do it. If you're a Capricorn and you want to be strategic about it, whatever you need to do. But it's time to just be done with our choices. Your intuition is telling you, once again, be done with your choices. Make the choice, be done, so the universe can get to work. Do you want to be with a particular individual? Great. How are you willing to be with that person? Do you want to be just friends? Do you want to be more than friends? Do you want to start out as friends and then become more as friends later? Make the decision and be done with it. Because how you're feeling is you're tired of waiting for the new beginning. But the new beginning is coming as soon as you let it go. You have to stop trying to force things to happen. You have to stop trying to control. Life is not about control. Life is about letting go of everything. Letting go of control, letting go of the things that people did to you, letting go of how you once did something, and so that you can be something new. We're continually shedding and becoming something new. And so if you haven't shedded in a long time, you like that? Shedded. If you haven't shedded in a long time, you need to shed today. You need to shed as soon as possible. Aries is going to make you shed. Let's find out if there's any other information. Let's use these cards. Any other information that the universe wants to let us know. And we will close out this. I can't wait to do my next love readings for you guys. I'm getting some cards in that I'm really excited about. I'm feeling this intuition to do some serious love readings for you guys. Love is so important. It really is. Okay, let's see. Last advice. We have the Knight of Cups, the Two of Swords, the Three of Wands, the Three of Cups. All right, so in order to break free from the pain, so some of you guys are asking about pain specifically. So in order to break free from the pain, there's some tough decisions that we need to make. So some of you guys are living too much in fantasy. You're living too much in your mind. And And that's making you really fickle. So it's like, oh, well, I'll just stay in my mind and have the fantasy in my mind because I'm just too afraid to move forward to this person. I just don't know if I can do it. So some of you guys are, or some of you guys aren't dealing with your pain because you're trapped in fantasy. So I don't know. Let's see. So weigh your options, okay? Weigh your options about the things that you can do today. So change the things that you can and accept the things that you can't. So there you go. If you can have a conversation with someone, because we do have the 3 of Wands. Wands is always conversation. So if you can have a conversation with someone, just start. I mean, it's that simple. Because if you want to grow and expand, then you might need to open up. Well, we'll find out. Let's get some cards on that too. The 3 of Cups. So it's about a reunion. So there definitely is some sort of reunion that has to have a conversation. Maybe you haven't had the conversation with someone. Maybe you've tried to have the conversation and you just never really got there. Maybe you called, but that was as far as you got. You know, you never really said anything. Maybe you chickened out, like right when you heard the person's voice or something. Yeah, let's see where we're going. What's some advice for those people who asked this last question? As long as you're doing nothing, nothing will come of the situation. You are safe. You just have to take that leap forward. Because your dreams, you have to be more practical in your dreams. They can't stay in the fantasy. So maybe that's what's happening with this planning. You guys are not getting it out of your head. You're not, actually being vocal about it. You have to bring it into the 3D reality. Either you need to talk to God or you need to talk to this person. So that's interesting. If you like this video or you were entertained in some way, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And on the screen is the suggested videos, and I'll be getting the April videos out as soon as possible. Have a great day. Bye.